I guess this isn't the conversation we thought we'd be having today, is it?
No, I was pretty sure this is what was going to happen.
Really?
I think I told you the day we first met that every year we lose by one vote. And
Why can we not get this over the finish line?
there's too much money involved. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars a year that go from Arizona drivers' pockets to the government's pockets. And so leadership is going to do everything it can to keep that money flowing in. There's too much about this that government likes. The tracking of everyone everywhere they go, making police work very easy for them. It's too much for them to give up. So they will play these games and pretend they're on our side and pretend like they were fighting for us when all the while they were playing the game.
The other difference between today, when this went up, and the other day when the bill went up, which is certain to be vetoed by Katie Hobbs, as opposed to sent to the voters and approved by them, is that today we don't have 31 Republicans. If we had sent this up the same day as the bill, it'd be on the ballot right now. These are the games that get played. And some of the people whose names are in green on this board are responsible for ensuring that this bill went up on a day without 31 Republicans. This is why you get fooled, people of Arizona, into voting for people who pretend to be conservative but aren't. And I vote aye.
Last night we have the resolution that just happened to be placed and put up for a vote when four Republicans were able to be there for the vote. What are your thoughts on that?
It wasn't so much the game that Steve Montenegro played by making sure that this bill failed. It was the Republicans are always going to play those games. The ones that surprised me were the Democrats, who had voted for the ban bill previously, but then for this, they voted to kill the bill. And so it seems to me they're very disingenuous. They're screaming about how their community is being terrorized, and a large portion of that comes from these cameras. ALPR technology is being shared with ICE and the Department of Homeland Security. They are using these cameras to track those people, to get alerts when they're in intersections, when they're going to work, so that they can be pulled over by the nearest ICE agent, police officer, or whatever. This is the part that makes police work easy for them. And so while they're screaming and yelling about their community is being terrorized by the federal government, they vote to continue to share this license plate tracking data with ICE to terrorize their community. It's absolutely hilarious this year to see how the politicians who receive this money directly from the ticket to their pockets for their campaigns have behaved this year when there was so much more opposition from the Republican side. It's really kind of funny.
Wilmeth went to social media today and he said, "Oh, we've got next year. We'll just do it next year." And I had responded, I said, "Well, this is the 19th year in a row. How many more next years do we need?" What are your thoughts on that of, just next year? Let's just wait till next year. There's always another chance.
Well, the game is afoot. We continue to make them embarrass them and humiliate them in front of their constituents until they come to our side, and then leadership goes and plays this game. Many of the politicians that are in there, they're just as dumbfounded as the public are. They think that leadership is honest when they say, "Oh, if we had just had the votes."
Nick Kupper, I think he said the quiet part out loud today. He went to X and said, Montenegro knew that these four people would be gone. Do you think that was by accident that Kupper would have outed that?
No, the entire house knew exactly what was happening last night. They as they walked out of the building, all I could hear was how dysfunctional this house is compared to every other legislative cycle before. Everyone knows the game now. We've exposed it year after year, so they're starting to wise up. And there are some of our politicians who are just not as happy about it as we are.
Yesterday I watched the Democrat caucus, their minority caucus, and excuse me, someone had mentioned, is there any other state that bans photo radar? And they were told, oh, no, 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 Arizona would be the first.
Representative Liguori.
Is there any other, thank you, Madam Chair, is there any other state that has a statewide prohibition?
Madam Chair, Representative Liguori, to my understanding, I don't think so.
But that's not the truth, is it?
No, Greg Abbott signed our bill 2 years ago and banned them in Texas. There are 19 states that currently have banned photo radar.
Do you even think the Democrats have the right information on this?
Well, the problem is they believe each other's lies. They tell each other that it's not about the money that pays for our campaigns. It's about safety. Oh, well, accidents increase. Well, no, he's lying. Okay, we get to continue to yell about the safety. You cannot argue with them. You just have to have their constituents call them and vote for someone new, because these people are literally, they know the deal. They went through the committee hearings. They watched it all. They know the evidence that we gave them. They know the ledge packet reveals the accidents increase, reveal the constitutional violations, reveal the other states that have banned the cameras. They just lie because they're politicians. I mean, that old statement about how do you know when a politician is lying? His lips are moving. It is absolutely true.
So let's talk about Walt Blackman.
It needs to go to the ballot. It needs to have a fair hearing, and it needs to also be built in a way to where it's not going to hurt our law enforcement.
I was glad to see that Blackman voted with the people and didn't be the one guy to fall on the sword. It's important for everyone to realize that regardless of what they say or how they vote is what's most important. And so he voted. He knows that his constituents would never, ever re-elect him to anything again if he was the pro photo radar Republican, the one guy who goes against the Republican Party platform. He knows where his bread is buttered. So even against AI, he was smart enough to vote the right way.
Okay, but come on, Shawn. Even Kolodin said it last night that there are Republicans who voted for this probably knowing that it was going to go down because the four people were missing.
They knew going in. I had text messages from legislators that were telling me that they were going to do it tonight, tomorrow night, and that Gress was at his wedding, and that there was no way that it was going to pass, and we were going to, unless the Democrats held, and could we put pressure on the Democrats? And so we let the Hernandez sisters know. This technology is being used to track their community and being shared with ICE and Department of Homeland Security, and they still voted to kill the bill. They knew it. They are disingenuous liars. The money that they get from this every year into their campaign coffers is more valuable than their community and their constituents.
In Denver, they decided to halt all of this photo radar technology because of the ICE information and
No, it's not just Denver, San Diego, California. Every law enforcement agency in pretty much in the country now, it has this ALPR technology, and they have the backup plan. You've already broke that out. Once these cameras stop issuing tickets, they still have Flock that does the exact same thing that these cameras do. They just don't issue tickets and create angry voters.
So I recently had an opportunity to interview Naomi Brockwell. She is a big privacy expert. She's a producer for John Stossel. We just had a really good conversation about AI technology and license plate readers and all of this.
There's a big difference between targeted surveillance and mass surveillance, for starters. And I think a lot of people create a straw man argument when they say, well, how on earth are police going to catch bad guys if you won't allow them to have any sort of tools in their toolbox? It's not about that. It's about how willingly we sweep up every innocent person in society, allow a dossier to be created on them, allow this reservoir of knowledge of the most personal, intimate details of their life, including their movements, their social graph, their daily habits, patterns, their predilections, whether it's political, sexual, whatever it is. Are we okay with this profile just getting larger and larger and being built over decades and decades in the hope that we might catch a bad guy? Because I think that we are looking at the benefits of this surveillance in terms of it might catch that one bad guy, and we're missing the forest for the trees. We're not realizing that that dossier is making all of us more vulnerable. All it takes is one corrupt person to get into power, and they use that to target people that they don't like.
And it's not so much the technology, but it's more that people haven't given consent to be tracked this way. And so really this bill would have given that power to the people to say, hey, we don't want this to be used against us. What happens from here? I mean, now you've got more cities implementing this. Will it just be so far gone that you really can't even backtrack to a day when we didn't have photo radar?
Oh, absolutely not. Every time they issue a ticket, they create an angry voter. And so the more they do it, I mean, if you go back and you look at the Ferguson riots in Missouri, you will find out it was these cameras that created those riots. Go and look. I'll send you the video clip of the local elected official who said it was photo radar that did this.
We have individuals that run into different issues with speeding tickets. We used to have speeding cameras up on the major roadways, and that's a major source of tension.
They turned their entire town into criminals. They ticketed everybody in Ferguson. And they had every single person that had 5 tickets or more with failures to appear. So they were just arresting everyone. It is these cameras that created the Ferguson riots. And these idiots up here just want their cut. They're willing to put their cities into the same state as Ferguson, Missouri, so that they can get your money.
I bet you're frustrated.
No, I'm excited. They're going to create so many more angry voters for this. We're going to be able to change our governor because of this issue. We're going to let every voter know.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And I guess I can take it that you're going to keep at this for next year.
We're only 6 months away from the filing. We're ready to go. Actually, it's 4. We got pre-filing already done.
Well, thank you for everything, Shawn. I appreciate it.
My pleasure, Jen. Anytime. Talk to you soon.
Okay. Thank you.